engine number 610 is one of the last steam engines built in the United States, outshopped in 1952 by Baldwin Lima Hamilton. It is a 280, meaning it has 2 lead wheels, 8 driving wheels, and no trailing wheels. That's called a consolidation type. Now this was basically a freight design. By the way, I forgot to mention about the turntable. Turntables were very important during the days of steam engines. It's kind of hard to operate a steam engine in reverse because of the tender behind, but holds the coal. It's hard for the engineer to see, plus he has to turn around backwards. So they always had turntables at the stations, at the terminals, where they had to turn the locomotive around. Now when the diesel engines came along, it wasn't quite as important because the diesel engine will operate almost as efficiently either forward or reverse. So many of the turntables, or most of them actually, were taken out and scrapped. So we're lucky to have a turntable. This one was built in 1916. It's 80 feet long and weighs about 100 tons. It was installed in Macon, Georgia, later moved to Cedartown, and finally to Chattanooga about 25 years ago. It is a center balance turntable. That means there's a big 6-foot bearing underneath the middle that will be holding the weight as we turn around. Of course, that center point, the balance point, is going to change on each trip as we use up the coal and the water a little bit at a time from the tender. Engineer Hunt says we're centered up, and Mr. Powers is in the little control compartment there. Operating controls as we turn around. Number 610, of course, is a coal burner. We're burning coal, which boils the water in the boiler into steam. The steam is fed through piping down to the cylinders, which forces the pistons back and forth. The pistons are connected to the driving rods and connected to the driving wheels. And that's how we are able to move. You heard the chug, chug, chug sound. For every 1 revolution of the driving wheel, there are 4 chugs. That's because you have 2 cylinders, and each cylinder has 2 power strokes. 610 operates on 210 pounds of steam pressure. As soon as we turn around and pull the locomotive off onto track number 2, we're going to realign the turntable for the next trip, and at that point I'll take you over to the repair shop and we'll show you inside where we work on the trains. The turntable was originally man-powered. It had to be pushed around by hand. It took 4 to 6 people to do that. We got a little bit lazy here at the Railroad Museum, though. We've got an electric motor, but it's only 25 horsepower. The turntable itself weighs about 100 tons. The locomotive, approximately 150 tons. So we're turning about 250 tons around with 25 horsepower. So it does give you a good idea of how well balanced everything is.
Well, how cool was that? That was pretty doggone cool.